Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's request day. Today's map's requested by the creator over on Discord. And it's a very green and lush map. You're going to like the greenness and the lushness of today's map. Now, we do have some unwritten rules on WhatMap, and occasionally I break them. Today we're going to be breaking one of the unwritten rules, but we're doing it enough now that I think it's slowly but surely becoming one of the written rules of WhatMap. So yes, one for you for the second half of the show to look out for. Before we do any of that though, I'll send you looking out for a BonBonBingo card. Yes, link is at the top of the description. Play along with the memes as they pop up, and hopefully you too might win a meaningless prize. But before we do any bingoing, we've got to do reviewing, and before we do any reviewing we've got to do remindering, because without remindering you guys are forgettering, and we can't have that now, can we? Off you go. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Canoe by SirWahwee. SirWahwee, yes, thank you very much. We've seen your work before, and this map is green and lush. There's your start square, a river running right the way through the middle of it. Could make for an interesting shape city. Then you have your terrain heights, which are pretty flat, but a little bit rippled, and one or two smallish hills. It's not a difficult map. Resources, there are a lot of trees, and some circular semi-clearings. Not quite sure why. And if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, our fishing map today looks like this. Off to the workshop, or what do we need? Well, there is a little bit of a requirement list. Not the world's longest list, but to have a lushness of green that we have, there are a few things to subscribe to. There is a theme today, which is the Solstice map theme. We'll be using the realistic 1.2 LUT. And there's also a link to Theme Mixer with a luminance setting that they would like us to use. Now, having having the theme mixer in operation just for the luminous setting it seems a bit much really, so I pumped up the colors a little bit using Ultimate Eye Candy. If they're not quite matching the screenshots, I apologize, but just having theme mixer there for like a tweak of the light settings, it seems like a bit of a waste of the theme mixer, to be honest with you. Plus then I've got to make sure that all of the other settings are right and nothing is being overwritten. You may have noticed on the right, the rail there just did a little up and then back down again. It wasn't hideous, and we're a long way from the middle of the map at the moment, so little areas like this, if it's not quite perfection, doesn't matter quite so much as if it's right in the middle of your buildable area. We have a road over rail here. Quite like this. I'd like to see the ramps just a little bit softer than we have there. They're a little bit sharp and a little bit steep, but it's always road over rail. Thank you very much. Unless of course the rail is already elevated via maybe elevation. Maybe the terrain was a little bit higher, maybe, but yeah, there's a thought. Right, what have we got going on here? We got it's a humpback bridge with a little bit of a wiggle in it. It's a funny, awkward looking bridge, this one. Don't mind the humpback. The humpback is fine, but it's got a funny wiggle in it, and a little bit of a jinky janky coming out on this side as well. This is your start square intersection. You may notice we have a couple of trees just poking through the underside of the elevated sections. A couple of trees that have been missed by the creator there. But we've seen a lot worse. We have seen a lot worse than that. There's your start square loop about, because it's not really a roundabout. It doesn't really complete the round. It just loops back on itself. And I guess that's fine, because generally any traffic going through there, you either want coming in or going out the city. You don't want it finding a different route through the city, I would have thought. Anyway, that's my opinion. I'm going to stick with it. The highways, highways are equidistant all the way. They bend and they widen. It's not a flat map, so these perfectly straight. Oh, we've got a little bit of non-terrain conforming grasses there, not conforming to the terrain, which is what you'd expect from a non-terrain conforming grass. And also we have a little bit of blue mantle. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot of it. Yes, it's an elevated rail line at ground level, or ground level rail line at elevation. Whichever way around you look at it, it's going to rip the terrain apart, and it certainly did there. Which means it's probably going to be a very good show for me to bring in my link to my blue mantle tutorial. Yes, today is, I have shown it once before, but it was just a random. Today just feels like the right day. So be expecting that one a little bit later. Anyway, yeah, the highways, is because it's not a perfectly flat terrain, I'm not expecting a perfectly straight highway. And I find the route that the highway takes is actually fairly pleasing. It is a bit uppy-downy. It is a little bit uppy-downy, but not hideously so. It could be smoothed out a little bit here and there, like that last bump that we went down, not this one, the last one probably would have been smoothed out a little bit, but this one probably is not far off what would have been in real life, so I don't mind that at all. Now, okay, prepare yourselves. This is a bit of a train wreck, yeah, in multiple ways. First of all, we have over here, we have the pillars, and everything's not aligned properly. The bridge isn't actually elevated, it's that resting on the water. And on the right there, the rail goes into an up and then a down onto the bridge, which is not the cleverest, sadly. I'd like to have seen it, but SirWahwee definitely still learning their skills in map making, and it's about having fun. It's only about having fun as a map maker. This is why this show exists. This show exists so that you can find the best map for your next city build. Also maybe give some tips to some budding map makers as well. But also, if you were looking at this map and you're thinking, do you know what? I quite fancy that. I wonder if it's any good. And say you're watching this video and you go, well, it's not really for me. The rail's a bit uppy-downy or whatever. Yeah, whatever the reason, if it saves you a few minutes loading up the map and then loading up a different map, and then if this map saves you a bit of time, then, well, that's a triple bonus. Triple bonus if this review saves you a bit of time. But yes, it's mostly about finding the best map for your city build, and of course, hopefully giving some tips to budding map makers. But yeah, you can see here, we just got a bit of elevation on that rail. Oh, we've got train. Perfect timing. What was a custom train? I don't know which one that is. I've got a few that... I subscribe occasionally to these things because of the chart show and showing off assets in the asset reviews. And then I forget what we got. I don't recognise things. There's so many things on the workshop, it's unbelievable. Yeah, going very bouncy here with the rail. This is that, whereas the highways I could allow a little bit of suspension of disbelief with the ups and the downs. The rail is just bouncing across the environment here, where it probably should be leveled out just a little bit. And I think even in the terms of this being a heavily treed map, where it's all sort of like a little bit hidden. Speaking of hidden by the trees, this tree is really... Well, the grasses as well, but I don't mind. The grasses is one thing, but the tree is right there in the catenaries. There's that blue mantle bridge. We've come across it coming in the other direction. And we'll skip over this junction. I think we're now heading towards... Yeah, I think all of the areas of interest have now been passed. So we can start preparing ourselves for that intermission. Second half of the show, we'll be checking out that little the breaking of the unwritten rule. We'll be checking out the shipping, see if the shipping's any good, the water flow, see if that is any good. Humpback rail bridge, ladies and gentlemen, a humpback rail bridge, perfect. And then yes, we're going to pick up on one or two things you've probably spotted already if you are regulars to the show, like just then, and yes. And then we'll give it some ratings. And I think we'll have to try and be harsh but fair today.
Have you ever torn a hole through the surface of the earth? Do Blue Mantle nightmares trouble you deeply? Then you need BonBonB's How to Fix Blue Mantle tutorial. Click the I button now.
And so back to Canoe Canoe by SirWahwee and the shipping routes. Okay, let's be a bit picky. First of all, right angle turn, roughly, going off to the edge of the map there. And so we'll follow this along, and then things are going to get a bit loopy. By loopy, I mean literally loopy. But before we get loopy, we're going to have another right angle turn, just to keep things the opposite of loopy. The opposite of loopy is, of course, a right angle turn. It's not quite right angle, but it's close. Then we have this, loops all the way around here. And then it heads off towards the edge of the map over here. Told you it was loopy. Oh, we do have a little inlet here as well, and we do go into there. And with a little loop on it as well. And off the edge of the map. A water flow. Okay, how you want to play this, I don't know. You have access to this bit of coast here, which is fairly still. And then we have a river over here, which is very light flowing and very shallow. So if you pump, if you draw from that, you're going to make it go dry really quickly. If you pump sewage into it, it's kind of going to sit. It will flow very slowly down and out into the coast. So I suggest probably pumping sewage into the river, but it's going to look ugly. Yeah, I don't know. How you would choose to do it is completely up to you, of course. Right, okay, let's start off with the, yes, you probably saw the trees with the trunks on in the river. These drowned trees is another box you can check off of your BonBonBingo if you have it on your card. So, drowned trees. There are lots of trees today. Lots and lots and lots of them. Let's have a little look over here. So anyway, yeah, big mix of... I'm not seeing any blending and any merging and any changes of biomes. Just seems very... just heavy-handed, and that's fine. We do have an unlimited tree mod today, about 500,000 trees, and it does make the map feel lush and green. The beaches don't really look like beaches. First of all, they're a bit patchy for sand. The shapes of them don't look like they're being eroded, and it's I mean, places from a distance like that area looks good from a distance in places, but yes, I feel that the beaches could be more beachified. We have an island that looks a bit Cypriot, a little bit Cyprus there, a little bit, with an abandoned village on it and a couple of not quite clipped into the environment fishing piers, and the essential lighthouse as well, with a gun emplacement too. All of it going on, all of it crammed in there. Again, more beaches, which if I got a few trees on the beach there encroaching, no problem with that, really, not a big problem. And we have a start square. Tucked in the start square, we have got something to make you smile. It's the commercial W2W5 by Smilies. Smilies does make us smile. This is obviously a new set from Smilies. We've seemed to have moved away from the high street now, and now have the W2W. That's a wall-to-wall. These are units that push really close. Parking at the back, so if you like your passages, you like to have a back passage, then vehicles will use it to park around the back. And factoids, because factoids. Gorillas, the big hairy monkey things. I know a few of them in real life, actually. Often sleep for up to 14 hours a day. I know a lot of people like that as well. Maybe these people that I know are all gorillas. Not surprise me. Yes, a lot of them England supporters, but let's not take that path. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I even said that. Yes, take that back. I didn't mean it that way. I did not mean it that way. I meant as in thugs, you know. Commercial W2W5 by Smilies, today's asset of the day. My apologies, it came out completely badly, not what I intended there. Anyway, breaking the rules of what map. Let's come back down here and grab our Move It and have a look at this road here. You know what's coming, don't you? You know what's coming already. Let me just choose the just the trees. And underneath this random bit of road, whole bunch of trees tucked under the road there. Another random bit of road, which is pretty clear here, of trees. And we've still got quite a few trees under there. And the start square, this is the start square. And it's completely, well, yeah. Under the old rules of what map, I think what we'll do is, when there's so many trees under the road, I think I'll try to remember to have them hidden. But yeah, it's going to be one of those that it just depends on the map. If you can't see the highways, I think I'm going to have them hidden and then just show you at the end from now on. New written rules, eh? Anyway, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of this map? Well, aesthetically, it's green. It's very, very, very green. I don't dislike it. It doesn't do anything to really grab you though either. That's the other thing. I think I've got to go down the middle on the 3. It just lacks that little je ne sais quoi that says, hey, yeah, just a big mixture of trees isn't enough for 4 stars. Detailing is in need. Sorry, SirWahwee, it's in need. I think you need a little bit of help. And we'll help you on Discord if we can. But for now, I can only give you 2 stars. Gameplay potential. Look, it's playable. It's not broken. You're going to need to be a bit canny with it. And there will be a little bit of fixing as you go along. So I'm going to go with a low 3 because it is playable. But I think it just needs a little bit of a fixer up here and there. Canoe, no idea why it's called Canoe, by SirWahwee. That is very green, and in places where it should be green, it's very green, and places where it shouldn't be green, it's very green. It's just very, very, very green. One of the greenest maps I've seen in a long time. Anyway, we've made it. We've made it to the end, and if you are still here, you're part of the 20 and out elites. Don't belittle the idea of this, you know. Use the word of the day into the comments. Score yourselves some population points just for fun, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What Map series. Have a great day, and I'll see you very, very soon.